Hey guys, it's Jimmy Bremner and Dexter the boy, CTOA, and we're on the urban trail in the 416. Today, had a bit of rain on and off. I have to tell you, this part of the dawn here is really a mess. All kinds of trees are down, and the big trees are down. You can see where the water's risen, got to be 8-9 feet, and just covered the background here. So we're going to do a catch-up video. Let's say this first: like, subscribe, share, comment, because I always forget it at the end. I think I'm going to make a sign that just holds it up from now on. So we talked a little bit about knives, briefly, right? So now I'm going to take you through sort of the evolution of the pocket knife, the slip joint, and where we are today with it. The first knives that were made were simple slip joint knives. They're really simple. A hinge, right, and a blade. And they usually had a wooden handle. An Open L number 8 is a really good example of that. I do have an Open L, but it has a polymer handle, it has a whistle and a fire steel in it. Tertium rod. So it has that in it. So what I'm getting at is that as things move forward, even Open L put a locking collar on it so you can lock that blade out. It's getting a nasty cut, okay, when you're out and about in the bush, what have you. It's just a bad experience to have. You've got to be able to stop that bleeding with your hand up in the air, and it's just something you don't want to do. So that's why I prefer locking blades. Now, with that said, if I go back, to my youth, we had folding knives, right, slip joint. And again, this is what they call a granddaddy Barlow. The Barlow is, you see this like the scale here, this part here, the bolster. It typically looks like that, and the knife just gets smaller or bigger along the way. Really like this one. This one is from Marbles, and you can order those online. And it's a really good knife to have. And with that said, kind of going all over the place here, the evolution of that would be the Buck 110. You can't get a better, this is a locking blade, but you can't get a better traditional sort of pocket knife than this. These have been around since the 60s, right? And they're just razor sharp, and can't destroy them. Amazing. They do come now with a spring opener on it, but I prefer this one old school. So what everybody was trying to emulate or copy over time was the Boy Scout knife. Simple Boy Scout knife, can opener, right, bottle opener, screwdriver, and awl, and your main blade. Now typically these were made by Camillus, and they were called a demo knife, or they were sort of the issue pocket knife for the U.S. military for a long, long time. And it's hard to get a really good one, okay? Most of the ones you get now are, cheap copies, and the blades wobble, and it can be a little disappointing depending on how much you pay for it. But that's what everybody was trying to emulate, right? That's how these knives, including Swiss Army, but that's how they became popular, things to carry, and they became ADC, everyday carry, right? And if you have something like this, it's not going to scare the women and children because it's just a little pocket knife. Same with Swiss Army. So let's have a look at what Swiss Army does. They do relatively the same tool set. Of course, they have the corkscrew and whatnot, but in addition, what they have are scissors. And scissors are really important just for personal grooming and things like that. I'm not going to be, like making paper dolls with a pair of scissors, but they're just enough that you can take care of basic things with them. And of course, this has your corkscrew and the fine screwdriver in it. It has the awl, and probably the most mysterious thing to people in North America is the parcel hook. Okay, so typically overseas, you whatever you get at the bakery or the butcher, what have you, they put it in a box and there's a string around it. You can carry it. It doesn't hurt your fingers. But what this is great for is lashing and tightening down, your lashing knots and things like that. Tightening your shoes, tightening your skates. It's awesome to have. Now, just going to check on Dexter. So what's the evolution from there? Well, the next one up, this is called the Swiss Army Farmer. And it has the A-lock scales on it. Really nice, really kind of like business-like. You can, take it in your pocket and you're in a suit and tie. And again, basic functions on it. Can opener, bottle opener, small screwdriver, larger flathead, scissors. But what's really cool about this one is that you do get the saw in it. It's in there. So you do get the saw as well in it. So there's one just below this where you don't get the saw. So I think this is a bit better investment than that other one, because you've got everything covered there, right? City, country, you're good. So, like you say, everybody's trying to copy the Boy Scout life. So we had other things that came along, right? The thing with the A-lock scales is that you don't get the tweezers and the toothpick. So depending on how valuable those things are to you, you can live without it, or choose to get the regular scales. So last time I showed you the Champ, Swiss Army Champ. Okay, and this has got every tool known to mankind on it. Like it's actually has probably too many things on it. I'm going to open it all up, but it's probably got 30 different functions in it. And that's okay, not too bad, but no locking blade. So, where do you go from there? You go to your Work Champ, okay, and this is the big brother. It's almost like the Hercules, but it's a little more, I think one or two more tools to it, right? But you've got your locking blade, you've got your saw, small pliers, scissors, your flathead screwdriver, you've got 3D Phillips and corkscrew, the awls in here. So everything that you need is in this knife, and it's price-wise, it's comparable, but frankly, I prefer this. I have fairly large hands, and it just makes it easier for me to work on, especially in the cold. Okay, throughout today, we're getting some showers, and you can feel the autumn wind blowing in already, so it's going to get colder. But what a lot of people don't think about, if you've never really, lived in a cold climate like Canada, things that are small get really hard to use. So bigger is better in Canada, because, like I say, when you get cold, you lose all of the dexterity in your fine motor skills in your fingers. Right? So now that said, what's interesting is the Trekker used to be one of my favorite Swiss Army knives. And again, I don't work for Swiss Army. I just really like the quality and the attention to detail and forethought that goes into those, right? So this is called the Trekker, and it's a one-hand opener and it's a locking blade, okay? And I think that's amazing. Has a saw, everything I need, has my toothpick, tweezers, and a 3D Phillips. Now this is the current U.S. issue military knife, with the exception, it has rubberized scales. They're OD green, right? And it doesn't have the toothpick or the tweezers on it. But if you can get your hands on one of those, that knife will last you a lifetime, and it's purpose built. It doesn't say Swiss Army for nothing. In Victorinox and Wenger, they were built on contract to the Swiss Army. So there's some forethought in it. And what I find interesting is that when I travel, I go to a big, knife blade show in the States or SHOT Show, what have you, typically you're inundated with the tactical knives, you know, and that seems to be the presence, like the, you know, the headspace where people are with knives. Okay, but in Europe, they look at things a lot differently. They will take time, open up the tool set, think it through, think about, like, what's the utility of this? Can I make my lunch with it? Can I cut an apple? They just think like ahead of everything. It's not all about deployment, and you know, it's just not like that. And I lean a little bit towards that mentality. Okay, you want to pick the tools you need for the job that you're about to do, and you should put some thought into it before you go and spend a good deal of money on like this Benchmade. That's almost a $300 knife, and so you want to think that over. This is a rescue tool, actually. So it has my seatbelt cutter, rope cutter, window breaker, and has a serrated for clothing, rope, what have you, and then your fine edge to it. And it has basically a dull point, so if you're cutting somebody's clothing off, it's not going to hurt them. So that's why I have this. It goes in my iPhone. All right, so like I said, everybody's trying to recreate the Boy Scout knife. And back in the, you know, when I was a kid, I used to get these. They were from Japan. The quality's, it's okay. It's not great, but for a kid, right? It's really a great thing to have. And again, it has all the options on it, so it's a little like a, you know, little saw. It's really actually well thought out, right? And these bone scales, and on the back it has a corkscrew and the awl, sewing awl, and a file. So it's actually pretty cool that you know, you were able to get these. You can't get these anymore. If anybody knows where you can get these, I'd be interested, because I think they're a pretty neat, inexpensive, you know, kind of throwaway tool. If I lose it, don't really matter, other than the nostalgic value I have in it. Again, traditional knives, electrician's knife. I've had this since I was a kid. It's carbon steel. It has a slotted end here, so you can, you know, do screws and wiring in that thing. It does have a wire stripper in it, and interestingly, it has a locking blade. That piece of brass there slides right, left, depending on what blade you want to lock out. Now, they still make these, but it will have a like a plastic scale on it. It's one of the companies that if you go to the you go to your Home Depot, what have you, that type of store, you go to the electronics section, like electrical tools for electricians, you'll see these knives hanging there, and they're a pretty good bargain. They're quite sharp, very robust, and but this one, again, sentimental. It's got, you know, I've had this for a lot. I've had this for almost 50 years. That's crazy. So that's kind of where I am. This is like an example of a Wenger, okay? So, and Wengers, you can tell the difference by the way the can opener and the bottle opener are made. They just look a bit different, okay? And I like this tool because it has the locking blade, and it has some pliers on it. And this is kind of a good option if you're like halfway, you know, between the city and the country. This is a pretty good knife to have. And the other thing you'll notice how you tell a Wenger from Swiss Army. If you look at the shield here, okay, looks like a shield. This one is a square, all right? But both those companies, again, were contracted to provide knives for the Swiss military. So, again, Open L is a great knife. I just can't find mine, but it's a great, really inexpensive knife. Carbon steel, fine blade, really good for food prep and that type of thing. This happens to be a Victorinox that I got at a kitchen supply. It does lock out, but this is really great, again, for preparing food and that type of thing. So and it's really inexpensive compared to the traditional Victorinox type of thing. So I think I've been all through what I can tell you about knives. I'm not going to get into what kind of steel they're made out of and that type of thing. I just can't go that deep. Either it works or it doesn't work, and that's good for me. All right, so again, not really a review, just kind of letting you know what things are intended for, and hopefully I've helped you with some of the choices that you're going to make when you're going out into the bush. So it's Dexter the boy. He's just over here watching my back. Come up here, buddy. Come up. There he is. Dexter the boy. Okay, let's see the pan over here. There he is. There he is. Dexter the boy. CTOA. Urban Trail. Like, subscribe, share, comment, please. Okay, it's actually this knife review is based on a comment somebody made, and I appreciate that. Okay, that's it. Thanks. I'm out.